The towns of Prince and Thurmond are within the boundaries of the national park. The Park Service also took responsibility for some of the buildings in these old towns. However, finding a way to maintain and care for these buildings has reached a breaking point. WOAY went to Prince to see one of these buildings and to get the story.
Time marches on, sparing no one and no thing. And for the old towns in the New River Gorge, the clock has been ticking for a long time. The towns of Prince and Thurmond are two great examples. They were settled deep in the gorge and now lie within the national park boundary. The national park also took over some of the buildings in these old towns. The old Prince Brothers store in Prince is one of those buildings.
The Princes founded the town of Prince here on the main line of the Chesapeake and Ohio Railroad. As a matter of fact, when they founded this town, there was no railroad here. They just knew that this was a good place to establish a town.
The national park is finding itself in a little bit of an unfortunate situation. The park can't afford to maintain the building and may seek its demolition.
The situation is there's not enough money available to take care of some of these wonderful old buildings in the national park. And the national park is trying to find something to do with these buildings, and it looks like the demolition is the option that they've entered.
The Prince Brothers store was the center of the community for the town of Prince while in its prime. It is also the last of its kind.
This building is the last structure that we have standing that demonstrates the old history of Prince, when Prince was an old agricultural community in the late 1800s.
There are also buildings in Thurmond that may suffer the same fate facing the Prince Brothers store.
In the town of Thurmond, you have a situation in which they've put in federal funds to take care of these buildings. But again, buildings that aren't being used, buildings that can't be cared for, don't stand long.
If you are a citizen wondering if there is anything that could stay the wrecking ball, there is a long shot.
I think the best way for citizens to take action in this matter is to call the congresspeople, call the representatives, and let them know that they would like to increase funding for the national park in southern West Virginia. Now more than ever, our economy is sustained by tourism, and so when we lose these buildings, we end up in a situation in which we've lost some of the infrastructure that's keeping us going.
It certainly can be challenging to preserve history while facing two formidable opponents, which are time and money.
There's not really a bad guy here at all. It's just that the money is not available to take care of these structures.
This is Mike Teeney reporting from Prince, Newswatch 4.
WOAY reached out to the National Park Service and at the time of this broadcast has not received a statement. We will of course update you when we do.